Well, in the world of turbocharging, there's one name that is synonymous and iconic, and it's this one right here in this booth, Precision Turbo and Engine. Harry Hruska, awful nice to see you down here. A beautiful display. You got your car in here as well, and God, this place is pretty busy, man.
Oh yeah, it's really a great show, and we're really excited to be here.
Yeah, we were in Vegas a few weeks ago, and I must tell you that the turbo cars were freaking unbelievable. They were flying.
Yeah. Vegas is always a great racetrack for us. It's amazing that we can take a turbocharger car from Englishtown and run the same tune-up in Vegas. People don't realize the air quality in Vegas. They worry about the altitude, but it's actually a great place to race. And we run our fastest laps of the year in Vegas this year. We went 574 with this car. We hadn't been that fast all year. It's a kick-ass place to race.
You know, the wild part was it after you ran the 74, I go over there and I talked to Donnie, and the car's in the air and you're changing everything in the world on the thing again.
Well, you know what? All weekend we'd made a bunch of changes. It was really a test weekend for us, and I know that sounds kind of crazy to be the biggest race of the year and be testing, but we're testing for, this season coming up, 2015. And we actually had to make a four-link change because we had the drive shaft. We needed a little bit longer drive shaft. It was about to tear the rear of the transmission out. Every run, the transmission was coming apart. And so we were afraid of that, so we had to move the four-link back to where we knew it probably wouldn't work, but that was the end of our day. And Donnie was sick as a dog back there working his butt off. I mean, we had to get him out of bed, wake him up, said, Donnie, run the car, and then put him back to bed. That was our weekend. So, but it was great. We learned a lot about the car, and we're really happy for next year. I think we're ready.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a time when the turbo car wasn't the most when it came to reliability, but that all has changed these days. You got it perfected.
Oh, yeah, and, reliability is everything. It's interesting because here in our booth today is Quick Drive, the drive units. I started using Quick Drive this year. It's the first year, and, I've been racing for 25-plus years, and that's the unit between the engine and the transmission, and it's proved to be so reliable. And because that's what it just made me think about that, how reliable that unit is on Quick Drive, and it's just all part of that recipe why we've had a good season this year with this car. 2 number 1 qualifiers, no problems at all. Just figuring out the race car. Now it's got 20 laps on it, and hopefully we're ready for next season. Brian, speaking of reliability, why don't we just catch up with Tony at Quick Drive?
Great idea, and fortunately he's right next door. Tony, Brian Olson, good to meet you, and you got a great product here. Tell us about it, the Quick Drive unit.
Our Quick Drive unit is essentially a converter drive unit that allows you to run a manual transmission behind a torque converter. We've done a lot of work with Harry and with other turbocharged car owners to be able to develop a system to allow you to stage the car into the beams smoothly and accurately, which has always been kind of a real problem with the turbocharged cars. And as
want to put them in too deep.
Exactly. And as Donnie can tell you, this system that we've developed is really completely reliable in that you can make the car do what you want it to do and have the car ready to race. It actually makes your weekend at the racetrack much easier to deal with. So
absolutely. So this drive unit then goes directly into where the pilot shaft would typically go for a transmission. Am I right about that?
This actually goes right into the torque converter. The bell housing bolts to the front of it. This goes into the torque converter, okay? And then your actual transmission bolts to the back of it. Correct. Inside the unit is a staging brake, a transmission brake, for lack of a better term, that locks the input and output shaft together so you can...
Slow and reverse together.
Well, actually it just locks the shaft so it can't turn, okay? It locks the shaft to the case, okay? And what it does is allows you at that point to spool the turbo up, stage the car, bring the engine RPM up onto your rev limiter and so on and so forth, and then release the trans brake. The car launches. Now, typically with the turbocharged cars, you have to achieve that RPM in the pre-stage beam and then move it that last 7 inches into the stage beam, okay? That's where it's always been the problem.
No easy task.
Not an easy task. So what we've developed for the turbocharged cars is a system that bleeds the clutch pressure down just enough to where it'll slip and smoothly glide into the stage beam.
So for the most part, the way I see this thing, the way it operates, unlike, and I'm not going to make a real comparison, but other ways that they're doing it with other forms and fashions, it's more or less like moving the thing in with your foot brake and just going ahead and hit the tranny brake button, so you can put the thing reasonably shallow into the beams.
Exactly. None of the jerking. You can control the motion of the car, and you can even modulate it with the foot brake in the car as it's moving. Okay, and that's the beauty of it. So you know how deep the car is going to be. You can, if you need to get, you know, deeper to change the ET or make the reaction time quicker, or shallower so you get a better ET, you know, that sort of thing. You can do that with this, where you don't have that control with most turbocharged cars.
Wow. I tell you, great product, Ben, and I got to tell you something. I'm fairly mechanically inclined, and I never had a clue about this product. Will you totally run this car in a quarter mile next year? Will that be it or no?
Well, I don't know exactly where we're going to be running. I mean, for sure, NHRA, we got 10 races for NHRA to run, and you know, we hope to go to some PDRA events, and we hope to go to some NMCA events, so you know, whatever's out there, maybe even IHRA. It's out there. We want to race. You know, we're racers. That's what we do. So.
Good deal. We look forward to you, man. If you make it to the PDI, we're certainly going to be glad you're there. We also want to say a special thank you for your support over there as well, and for being there for us.
Well, sponsoring the PDRA was a big deal for us. We really appreciate you guys and what you did for us. I think you've got a great venue to race. I'm really looking forward to the advancements for the next season. We hope we're involved with that. It's been good for us. I believe that it's really the foundation, you know, that's building with this new series. I think it's got, you know, good management, good people, you know, good business plan, and that's what it's all about, right? And giving back to the organizations. I mean, we gave back almost $250,000 worldwide to the organizations last year. We're budgeting for this year. We hope to be able to, you know, improve that. I'm not sure what that means for the PDRA, but I know that you guys are well on your way to a good season for next year, and we're just thrilled to be part of it and on the startup, and we want to do better, right? And that's all we want to do is, you know, every year do better. Thank you. Thank you for that.
One of the greatest guys you'll ever meet in your life, and an absolute genius when it comes to turbochargers. An innovator, a perfecter, a great guy, a guy who now knows how to make a race car go fast as well. Harry Hruska. You're watching PDRA TV from PRI, Indianapolis.